Hey, this is Kyle Madsen with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Sacramento Kings are back in action tonight as they continue their road trip in Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. Our pregame coverage begins with game night at 3:30. Kings Live is at 4:30, and tip-off with the G-Man is slated for 5 o'clock. There were only a handful of games in the NBA last night. The Warriors pulled away from the Wizards late to pick up a 126-118 win in Washington. The Wizards do cover the 9.5. Russell Westbrook got 23 points, 17 boards, and 16 assists as the Thunder snuck past the Pelicans, the Anthony Davis-less Pelicans. It's important to note that 122-116. The Blazers down the Suns in the desert, 120-106, and the Lakers lost their third in a row, 120-105 to the Timberwolves at Staples Center. And the NBA All-Star starters were announced yesterday. Stephen Curry, James Harden, LeBron James, Paul George, Kevin Durant in the West, Kyrie Irving, Kemba Walker, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kawhi Leonard, and Joel Embiid in the East. It's 7:01. Time to get your tickets for the 7th Annual Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame induction celebration, Saturday, January 26th at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Go to SacSportsHof.com. Those are your top stories. Now back to the drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Welcome back. This is The Lowdown. Damian Barling and Jason Ross.
Yeah, man.
The Lowdown.
Hour number 2 here on this Friday. So happy you're here with us. Damian Barling along with Jason Ross. You just heard Kyle Madsen there. If you want to watch along with the show, you can go check us out. KHTK.com. See Jason, who is changing T-shirts every single segment. How many segments passed? 3 segments passed before I realized you were changing T-shirts?
I was going to see how far I could go. It's pretty good. I wondered if anybody else noticed.
You know what it was? If you hadn't started out with the blue one, I might not have noticed because it was very blue.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, we were talking. It was like, wait a minute. You have a what happened
have a dark
here?
shirt on, yeah.
Yeah. Melanie says, dang it, couldn't get through for the country mega ticket. She said that on the Jiffy Lube text line, 441140. Melanie, no worry, love. We got you.
It's all good.
We got another mega ticket to give away.
Got another mega ticket to give away.
We've got it. No worries at all. Is it weird that D-Lo's casual Friday attire is my dress-up clothes for any occasion?
No, that's good. You look good then.
Yeah, solid. I don't know what to do with these Concords as much as these are highly so I don't feel like I look particularly great in them. I don't think the only thing that works with them is this sweatsuit. So this is what I wore. And I wore these shoes just for Kyle.
Oh,
I took it off. That scarf is terribly uncomfortable, which I wore just for Murph.
Yeah.
So Murph, if you're listening, I wore that for you. Very narrow casting.
Wait
here
a minute.
today.
Show off the bottoms too. So I mean,
yeah, these are nice. I don't know.
Do you walk on the ground?
No, I try not to.
The bottom of those shoes are immaculate.
Exactly.
This is the first time I've ever worn them. I've never worn these before.
Okay.
I mean, I've only had them for, I don't know, month or whenever it started.
Did you carry them to your car and then carry them inside and put them on inside?
Yeah, you don't want to see what my socks look like.
Yeah. Just
It's
hideous.
just like, that parking lot we have is gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You can wear those to the staff appreciation luncheon today.
You know what got these Concords, I don't want to say what got them noticed. It was Jordan that got them noticed. The Boys to Men performed in them on the Grammy Awards in like tuxedos, but they wore these with them. And that was the
Fire.
Oh, wow. Look at those. And then the shoe exploded. There's a 45 on the back.
I see. I'm just amazed at the bottom. I mean, everything is pristine.
Jason.
That's incredible.
I assume that 45 is not for the president.
Okay, that's enough. You just ruined the shoe. Leave it to Kyle Madsen to ruin the Concord 11. Wow. No, Kyle, this is not for the president. You have your own camera in there. Why are you in here? Get out of the studio. Go back to KHTK. Go to KHTK.com. This has gotten a little bit out of hand. We spent a little too much time playing to the camera, but we are on KHTK.com. Shoes on full display here. You don't have your sensible shoes up here?
I do. No,
if
no
I
Cole
got
Haans
you
today.
these,
Oh, come on.
would you wear them?
I wouldn't look right.
Really? They're
Yeah.
Jordans. What do you mean you wouldn't look right?
I'd be dunking.
Okay. All right, Eunice, I'm gonna need a still shot of what Jason just did.
It's too bad I had everything spread legs, tongue out.
This is
Hello.
Hello.
This has been such an awkward morning. It started with Mike Greenberg yelling the most obscene thing I'd ever heard on national television that I won't repeat here on the radio show. It's time to hang by the fire pits with your crew at Folsom's Winter Brewfest this Saturday. Details at tapfolsom.com. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, two very, very important things to today's broadcast. The first one, 8 o'clock, top of the hour, Douglas Dale Christie. He will be with us. Again, that is at 8 o'clock. And then coming up at 8:40, we've got your opportunity to qualify for the Big Game Dream Party presented by Mel Rapton Honda. Your chance to win a 65-inch television, $2,500 in Lazy Boy furniture, and a $500 gift card to Sprouts Farmers Market. That is at 8:40. We will have that code word for you. Touched on some NFL stuff. We'll get back to Benjamin Watson. He called out Roger Goodell yesterday on social media. And I think he had actually, we'll touch on that here for just a minute. Benjamin Watson addressed this directly to Roger Goodell on social media. Commissioner Goodell, we all realize that football is an imperfect game played and coached and officiated by imperfect people. What occurred last Sunday in New Orleans, though, was outside of that expected and accepted norm. Your continued silence on this matter is unbecoming of the position you hold, detrimental to the integrity of the game, and disrespectful and dismissive to football fans everywhere. From the locker room to Park Avenue, accountability is what makes our league great. Lead by example. We are waiting. Before you jump in here, Jason, I want to make sure we mention Benjamin Watson is one of the most respected players in the National Football League, and he's one of the most respected players in the NFL Players Association. This isn't an angry, disgruntled Saints player throwing something out there. This was a well-thought-out remark put out there by a player who's saying, hey, step up and say something about what happened Saturday. Even if you're just going out like, yeah, officials got this was wrong. We don't know how we're going to correct this moving forward, but we're looking into several options to correct things like this moving forward. He hasn't said a word in 5 days.
Yeah, part of what I've heard some speculate on, so I'm going to take what I've heard from them say, is he might just be waiting for Super Bowl week, which is when he kind of has a state of, which, okay, if that's your thought, I think you played it wrong, because I think any other kind of league-wide crisis, and to some this would be considered a crisis, right? He would be in front of a podium answering to whatever that was. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what he could say, because I think it's an error. Everybody saw it. We all think they missed the call. It looks very obvious, but something should be said from the commissioner of the league.
And if he's going to wait till Super Bowl, what a terrible time to say something. Like, yep, we blew the call, and you're doing that at the podium right before the game that got influenced by this terrible call. If he had just said it Monday, if he had come out and been like, hey, you know what? We botched it.
We have to
it
look
happens.
into this.
We're going to look into this.
Yep.
We would not be talking about it right now.
There's no politicians from New Orleans going on putting together TV commercials saying replay the last 2 minutes of the game. There's no – now, I don't think anyone – now, the line I think here that we should point out, your continued silence on the matter is unbecoming of the position you hold, detrimental to the integrity of the game, and disrespectful and dismissive to football fans everywhere. When you talk about integrity of the game, I think you've got to be a little bit careful, because you start to insinuate that perhaps the game is rigged. And I think when that – I know I was frustrated when Championship Sunday ended, as both of my picks were wrong. Both of the teams that I wanted to go to the Super Bowl were out, but I didn't think for any stretch that it was fixed. But if someone thought that it was, I could be like, I get it.
It would support it.
Like, when you think about all of the coaches under Sean McVay's, if you have Sean McVay's cell phone number, I think you got a coaching job. Mm-hmm. It's beneficial for that story to be there in the upcoming weeks. I don't think for a single solitary second the referees purposely ignored a helmet-to-helmet, a pass interference, a face guarding, all of that stuff in one play. I don't think that they did that. But if you're a frustrated fan, that's going to be hard to tell someone, they didn't. No, that would be difficult to convey to someone who's frustrated by the outcome of that game.
And anybody who's frustrated about anything, what do they want? They want to be heard. Mm-hmm. And so you can't get to Roger Goodell. I can't, hey, I've got a question for the commissioner, but I can hear from him. Mm-hmm. And again, you may not hear what you want to hear, but at least there's something coming from the league office. Yeah. And a league that has so many things going for it, but a lot of times they can't get out of their own way. And this doesn't help. I mean, again, I think it's just not a simple error. It's an error. It's a mistake. It happens. It's awful for the Saints. People want to hear from the commissioner about it.
It's a mistake, but it's a simple mistake, but it's a massive error with massive consequences.
Absolutely.
The officials, they miss calls all the time. Mm-hmm. This, in that moment, had massive consequences.
Right.
We think we know what would have happened.
Right, we don't know for sure.
But we don't.
Right.
We saw a ball in the Super Bowl get intercepted on the 1-yard line. So you can never assume a game is going to end a certain way. Mm-hmm. However, what you do in those situations, you took the players out of it. You didn't give the players an opportunity in that situation on the, what would it have been, 4-yard line with whatever amount of time. You took them out of the game in that moment.
Right, which is the same concern people have with the overtime rules, right? Patrick Mahomes never had a chance to have an impact on overtime. Nope, he didn't. That's the way the rules are set up. Coin toss was won by New England. To their credit, they go down and score. Game over. Drew Brees could have done the same thing in overtime. He threw the pick, set up the Rams to win it, but that's even another issue, and that's probably something the commissioner should be talking about as well. And like Kyle said earlier, I mean, I don't think the commissioner is going to get as much grief for talking about that on the podium next week for Super Bowl week about the overtime rules. He will be if he's, talking about what happened in the Saints game, because I think a lot of people ask him.
I get it. The call sucked, but Goodell saying something won't change anything. That's from the text line 441140. It's not about changing something. It's about acknowledging it. That's all it is. Just an acknowledgement that, hey, we got this wrong. We're going to try to correct it. Also coming from the Jiffy Lube text line, J. Ross changing T-shirts is a Jim Halpert mind trick to infuriate Dwight Schrute. There you go. Solid stuff right there. We'll come back. Is it a must-win for the Sacramento Kings? We'll talk about that next.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Drive. I'm Codi Baylor from The Lowdown. If you want to give us a follow on social media, you can find myself at Codi Baylor. That's Cody with an I. Jason at JasonRoss1140. Damian at Damian Barling. And Chris at Sac_MCFC. Also, check us out on Facebook and search The Lowdown. Jason and Damian, back to you.
Chris. What shirt you got under there on your perfect temperature jacket?
Gosh.
We've got to see it. There's Wally World. Very nice. That's National Lampoons. Is that
Of course
what that
it is. Moose out front should have told you.
See, I'm trying to look at you, and all I see is Jason dancing on the live stream behind you. This live stream is extremely distracting. Head over to KHTK.com. Thanks for everybody who's checked us out, by the way, throughout the week. As we noted earlier this week, Friday, we set a streaming record for this show, which was broken on Tuesday. So that's awesome. Let's try to break that streaming record again here today on our final day, because for no other reason, that'll really piss Dave off. And
he might tweet about it.
I'm going to might. I believe we have a.
Do we have an update?
Yeah, we do. Carmichael Dave. This is just yesterday, the Carmichael Dave scoreboard.
Scoreboard.
As kept by Pat, Tom, and the other Cody.
Cody.
66 tweets from Carmichael Dave yesterday. One tweet of food. And as Pat, Tom, and Cody noted, 66 pointless tweets. But that was subjective. He did have an interesting tweet towards us. But I love Dave. Usually. I love Dave. Come on.
I had one yesterday.
You had one tweet yesterday?
It was a retweet of your post-game strong when you hit the post.
Yeah. That was fun. You're winning the live stream.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
MVP.
Live
stream MVP.
Like by far. Not like
Unanimous.
Yeah, like Mariano Rivera style MVP. The Kendrick Lamar J. Cole bit was great yesterday, which I don't think you gave a single crap about, but your look at that camera right there seemed to get everybody's attention on Instagram. The Lowdown is getting a live stream. I'll tell you that. We've alluded to that all throughout the week. It might not be the way that the Drive does it, but we're working on something, and it's going to be a lot of fun for us to bring to you. So you guys have shown this week that live stream could be a lot of fun with Jason and I in here, along with Cody, and then of course we'll have Chris with us. Having Kyle with us is always fantastic. So we're working on something. We told you that the Lowdown was going to own social media this year, and you guys have gotten us off to a great start. I couldn't come up with a Facebook question of the day today. I guess this could have been it. Is it a must-win for the Sacramento Kings tonight? But I feel like the resounding answer would have been yes.
Yeah.
For no other reason than you can't lose to the Memphis Grizzlies, especially with the game in Los Angeles against the Los Angeles Clippers coming up. If I absolutely mean this. I don't think this is an overreaction. We'll know if the Kings have a legitimate shot at the playoffs on Sunday afternoon.
So I'm trying to play that out. So the worst case scenario is losing today and losing Sunday. Now you're 2 below 500. That does feel like a hill you can't climb, right?
Especially with the Los Angeles Clippers. You're losing 2 games on Sunday because the Los Angeles Clippers are 26 and 22. So if you're going 2 games under 500 and the Clippers are getting one on you, I don't see it.
Yeah. And
I don't see it.
As we speak right now, the difference between where the Kings are and the 8th seed is 2 games. That doesn't seem like much. It's not really. But you lose 2, there's no way you're gaining, and it's probably 3, if not 4. Now you get into tiebreakers. Clippers beat you. They're 3-0. They win the season series no matter what happens in the 4th game. And then it's, what would that be? A 1-5 trip where you won on a Buddy Hield bailout. I mean, it was great, but you didn't play well. You wouldn't have played well on the trip. And I think that's the way today's game is to me, the same way, Damian, that to lose today, they will have to not play well. And so if you don't play well in Memphis, which is very possible, then something's wrong. I mean, this is not a good trip.
But see, the problem, and I think the concerning thing for Sacramento Kings fans, and really I think for Dave and Dave Yeager and Elston and you know Brian Gates and Scott, the rest of that coaching staff, is they haven't been playing well.
No,
at all. And they were they were awful in Detroit. Buddy Hield fumbling the ball, recovering it, and throwing it into the basket masked all of that. But I don't guarantee you, I'd be willing to bet that coaching staff took that film, they went over it before that Charlotte game like, hey, everybody buy Buddy, whatever it is that Buddy likes because we stunk.
Right.
And they stunk. We just happened to have the ball in the final few seconds, and Buddy darted it into the basket, and we sprinted out of Detroit with a win.
Yeah.
But we were awful. They have been awful every game this road trip. They need to snap out of that tonight. And if they don't, I don't see them making the playoffs.
It's also the combination, too, of what's going on with Memphis. And then, okay, if De'Aaron needed the rest, needed some time to get that extra day, better be a good version of De'Aaron Fox today. Shumpert and Bjelica, I don't want to say they don't matter. I mean, Shumpert's kind of had some load management, as they've been calling it this year, right? So that's not that abnormal. Bjelica hasn't been playing that much. I think we're all curious, is this the day now Bagley's in the lineup going forward? And if he is as a starter, great. But I'm watching De'Aaron tonight.
Yeah.
Like, that's the guy you really thought about resting. You did rest. There was a reason for that. So how's he play today?
The thing that Kings have been able to avoid this year, and the reason they've gotten to 500 through 48 games, is they've avoided a prolonged streak of bad games. Mm-hmm. And losing tonight would officially be a prolonged streak of bad games. You just can't have that if you're going to make a playoff push.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying. It wouldn't be their longest losing streak because of the Buddy Hield game.
Right.
But in terms of the longest stretch of games, no, I don't think anyone felt good about the 47 minutes and 58 seconds or whatever it was of that Detroit game. Mm-hmm. But it didn't matter because it went to the win column.
I think you feel a lot better about it if they go in and beat Toronto. Because then you're going, there it is. They're picking it right back up. They're going to be scorching hot again.
But they didn't try.
But now it feels just like an aberration on a bad trip.
Right. It doesn't feel like they tried, though. When you make the decision to sit De'Aaron Fox, I don't care. I mean, with all due respect, I can say something insulting now. I don't care that Nemanja Bjelica sat because I think Marvin Bagley should be starting in the first place. I think he has a lot of benefit on the bench, but I don't think it's a big deal that he didn't start.
Right.
Same with Shump. We've seen Shump sit out a number of times throughout the game because of his load management and all that stuff. That's fine. But when you make the decision to sit De'Aaron Fox, that's like, okay, we understand we don't have the best opportunity to win because our best player isn't playing. So the scenario you just laid out felt like the Kings coaching staff stacked the deck against themselves immediately coming out of that game.
Yeah. And so then it puts all the pressure on tonight, kind of back where we are. So that's where Memphis has been reeling, not playing well, trade rumors with their top 2 players, infighting, just a mess. They've lost to a lot of teams here lately, and some of the games have been ugly, which makes them in one sense dangerous. But if you're the Kings, you got to get out of there, no matter how you do it, with a W.
A lot of positivity in this segment, so I want to cap it off with reminding you that this segment's brought to you by Fire Wings. Love Fire Wings. 21 delicious flavors. I've tried them all, liked them all. They have Nashville Fire Chicken Sandwich, also very good. Get yours today. Find the Fire Wings location nearest you at firewings.com. Just wing it.
Did you try all 21 at once?
No.
Just
that was over
time?
a course of probably 2 or 3 months.
Okay. I was just wondering, like, if they brought you like a wing of each flavor, like here are the 21 flavors.
No, I'd go in with multiple people, and we'd wind up getting 5 or 6 different flavors. And if it was one I hadn't had, I'd try one.
Okay. Yeah. Big Game Dream Party presented by Mel Rapton Honda. We've got your first opportunity to win today and one of your last opportunities to win, as today is the last day of the contest. We're going to announce the grand prize winner when Dave returns to this show on Monday morning, 8:40. That will be your keyword. When you hear that keyword, you text it to 441140. Sometimes the words are hard to understand. I promise we will repeat it for you, but make sure you're locked in here at 8:40. That is your opportunity to win and qualify for the Big Game Dream Party, as well as a $100 Harris Ranch gift certificate. Doug Christie coming up at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. We got your Friday mailbag. The All-Star starters have been named. Does Luka Doncic and Derrick Rose being left off of the All-Star starters makes selecting the reserves a little bit easier? We'll do that. We'll talk about the Warriors scored 70 points in the paint yesterday.
And they can shoot
Jump
threes.
shooting teams.
Yeah.
We'll discuss that. We'll pick our All-Star reserves. We got all that, plus Doug Christie at the top of the hour.
Hey, good morning. This is Kyle Madsen with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Sacramento Kings are in Memphis tonight to take on the Grizzlies. It's game number 5 of their 6-game road trip. Our pregame coverage begins with game night at 3:30. Kings Live is at 4:30. Tip-off with the G-Man is slated for 5 o'clock. There were only a handful of games on the NBA slate last night. The Warriors and Wizards faced off in Washington. The Warriors won their 9th straight, 126-118. Russell Westbrook and Paul George led the Thunder to a 122-116 win over the Pelicans. The Blazers downed the Suns in the desert 120-106, and the Lakers dropped their 3rd in a row 120-105 against the Timberwolves down at Staples Center. And the NBA All-Star starters were announced yesterday. In the West, it's Stephen Curry, James Harden, LeBron James, Paul George, and Kevin Durant. Out in the East, it's Kyrie Irving, Kemba Walker, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kawhi Leonard, and Joel Embiid at 7:32. Time to get your tickets for the 7th Annual Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame induction celebration, Saturday, January 26th at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Go to SacSportsHOF.com. Those are your top stories. Now back to the drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Time to kick off Folsom Beer Week at Tap Into a Cold One at the Palladio this Saturday. Tickets at tapfolsom.com. Damien Barling along with Jason Ross back here on The Drive. Dave will be back with you on Monday. And the Lowdown will be back at noon, where we belong. As you heard, Doug Christie, by the way, going to join us in 30 minutes. Top of the 8 o'clock hour. We've got another chance for you to win the Country Mega Ticket, and we are going to give that to you this hour.
Okay.
Stick around. Your chance to win the Country Mega Ticket, where you could see Brad Paisley, Rascal Flatts, Luke Bryan, Dirks Bentley, and Florida Georgia Line is coming up here in just a few minutes. Keep those texts coming at 441140. If you want to get in on the Fire Wings hotline, you can. First, you got to try one of their delicious 21 flavors of wings today. Fire Wings, just wing it, though that is not a prerequisite for calling. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Shout out to the J-Man and Mrs. Ross who are watching us on the live stream. At least I think they're watching us. There was a little bit of confusion.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're watching.
During our group text. J-Man, the other J. Ross, is intensely watching something, but it's a bit unclear if he's watching us or perhaps something else. Maybe he was watching what Mike Greenberg was watching on Get Up earlier.
Who knows? Yeah.
If anyone happened to see Get Up before this show started, you probably know exactly what line we're talking about. And it's only because we have the sense of humor of, I don't know, 13-year-olds.
At best.
And Chris has pretty much ruined everything for us. He's ruined the English language. Yeah. Kyle continues to ruin everything, as he attempted to ruin the Concord 11 earlier by one casual observation, in which I probably can never wear this shoe again, but we're just never going to repeat.
Because it's been sitting on the desk since Damien's doing the show with one shoe on.
I very much am, yep.
No word on whether it's the black shoe or the white shoe.
Okay. Again, it only makes sense if we
that's a really niche joke from
it only makes sense if you've been with us all week. That's if you're new to us and you thought you were turning into Dave and you just feel like you're stuck with us, we only make sense if you listen to us every day. Mm-hmm. Other than that, you tune on in the middle of a program. It's like turning on the middle of a season to your TV show. Yeah. Like you tune in episode 6 of House of Cards, you have no idea what's going on. You tune in on a Thursday thinking you're just going to get the latest sports news. You don't know what the hell's going on. You're hearing Enter Sandman, Office references are going. There's a shoe on the table. There's a picture of Codi taped to a chair. There's a shirt with Chris Verlaut on it. You don't have any idea what's going on.
You don't know what's going on.
I'm sorry, that's not Chris Verlaut. That's the champ.
Yes.
Right there. Does Chris go to the company party tonight or today, this afternoon, because our Christmas party is not only on January 25th, it's in the middle of the day.
Yes.
So we're really cutting up this afternoon. Does he go with the belt and the glasses?
Of course, he's the champ.
I think that should happen.
Yes.
I think that should happen.
That's his business casual.
Kyle, that's a shoe-in joke of the week. Why is this song always playing in the background? Do you just have iTunes open and it's on loop? What is happening in there? You guys should bring Grant on. I think Grant went on a couple of days vacation.
Yes.
I think he's joining the team in Memphis today. Maybe one day we'll have Grant on.
Which is weird because Memphis, I think, is Grant's favorite NBA city.
Clearly.
And they have a couple of days there, and I'm amazed that he didn't spend them all in Memphis.
I can't confirm this, but I believe that is most players' favorite NBA city.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you know when you've arrived in a team's favorite city?
You leave?
No. Check a player or someone with the organization, check their Instagram page. Mm-hmm. If they're at the movies,
not a great city.
And do you know what the Washington Wizards did when they came to Sacramento?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Movie night?
It was
they
movie
saw
night.
Pacific Rim 2.
It was it was movie night. I heard big movie night cities are Sacramento, Memphis, and Oklahoma City.
Okay, I like Oklahoma City.
I've never been there.
Yeah.
I think Mark Canna, the A's outfielder, has it right. He is big into food, and so when he goes to a city, he looks up hey, where do I get good food in this place? And that's how he spends his time, is just touring the food in the city. And I think that's a great idea. That's what I would do in every NBA city, especially Memphis. Go get some barbecue. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. That's why Grant went to Miami.
Yeah.
For a couple days.
A little bit more to do in Miami than in Memphis. Though there are a few things in Memphis I've liked. Have I been to Memphis? Is that where Graceland is at? Mm-hmm. I've been to Memphis.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Graceland?
I have not.
It's weird. You're just driving down the street and there's a McDonald's and a gas station, and across the street it's Elvis's house. It's very odd. There is nothing. It's I thought it would be entering Disney World. Mm-hmm. Hey, welcome. It's the happiest place on earth. Okay, there's McDonald's. There's Pilot. Oh, there it is. It's on the left. We got to turn around, drive up a long driveway, and you're at Elvis's house.
Elvis still lives there.
I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard. And after you exit every spot of Graceland, you're in a giant memorabilia store. So you pass through at least 6 memorabilia stores as you're walking through Graceland. You can't get out of Graceland without going through this massive Elvis store.
Wow.
But I'm glad I went.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
So you have been.
I've been to Graceland. Yeah. I've been to Graceland. I've been to Memphis. I think we just went to Graceland and then left and then drove to Knoxville from there. But
gotcha.
The Warriors won last night, as Kyle mentioned just a moment ago. Beat the Wizards 126-118. 70 points in the paint for the Golden State Warriors, tied for the most in a game under Steve Kerr since 2014 in 2015. They also had 70 points in the paint when they took on the Orlando Magic back in 2017. DeMarcus Cousins had 17 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists in the 24 minutes that he played. His third game of the season, his first technical foul.
Hey.
DeMarcus Cousins is officially back.
It's a weak technical.
It was kind of weak.
It was
I mean,
really
The
trash.
whole play was silly.
The thing that stood out to me from DeMarcus, because I think people knew he was going to get his offensive numbers. They weren't going to be the all-star caliber numbers that he was at, but he can play on that side of the ball. What's been incredible to me is his activity on defense. He's been moving on defense more in his handful of minutes with the Warriors than I've ever seen him move on that end of the floor.
And that has increased their defensive efficiency, if I'm not mistaken, in the
I'm
three
sure,
games.
yeah.
In the 3 games that DeMarcus Cousins has been back, the defensive efficiency of the Golden State Warriors has gone significantly higher.
They
Despite the fact they gave up 118 points last night. I go figure, but
you can tell that that's something that they have to consciously make him do, because every time he makes a play on defense, they act like they just won the NBA title. Like, everybody is so excited that he switched properly and blocked a shot and poked a pass away. But they need that from him if he's going to be on the court, and he's been able to do it.
the Warriors are now averaging 130.1 points per game during their current 9-game winning streak. They are the 6th team in NBA history to average 130 points per game over a 9-game single-season span. That's according to Elias. Not Elias, our friend Elias.
Yeah.
He does all of this research for
Close
us.
to the show, yeah. We like him.
Yeah, DeMarcus has fit in quite nicely with the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah,
so
I
far.
mean, I don't think none of what he has done has surprised me at all. I mean, I just think that's what his skill set is still very obvious, and they have got a terrific luxury of a surplus of offensive players that anybody can have their great night, and if they're all clicking, which more times than not lately they seem to be. Again, I think you can beat them once, but who's beating them in a series? Who's beating them 4 times? And I don't know that that's happening.
Well, so far there is no statistical proof to prove that you can beat them once.
Right.
Because
With this group?
This group, there's no statistical data right now to show that is possible. Though I would guess they're going to lose a game here at some point.
Yeah.
Probably, perhaps. If they don't, that would be a record.
No, the
Or would it?
Yeah. It'd be a record.
There's got to be 30 some odd games left, right?
Yeah.
What's the record?
33?
33.
Mm-hmm.
And that's UCLA?
Well, they all are. They all belong to them. Lakers, yeah.
I found some I was looking for some books. I was looking for the Bill Simmons, the book of basketball.
Yeah.
Cody wanted to read it. And I found like 3 or 4 John Wooden books along the way. John Wooden has, all of those. I don't know what to call it. Not inspirational, but like guides too.
Yeah, it's
they're
pyramid of
really
success.
interesting. Yeah, they're really interesting reads. Is not that I sat there on the floor and read them. I was just skimming through them. Like, this is interesting. I'm gonna pull these out, put these on the shelf, take a look at them.
Yeah. They were on the shelf?
Yeah,
Or they were
in a box.
Oh, gotcha.
They were put away. Now they're on the shelf.
Oh, so they made the cut.
They made the hierarchy.
Yeah.
They got moved from a box in a closet to the shelf.
Gotcha.
So the books on the shelves are one that I can go back and read, or I just want people to look at and go, "Oh, you read that?"
Yeah.
Like, "Oh,
Nice
you read
collection of books.
You read that 550-page Bill Clinton book that would have put you to sleep 4 pages in?" Like, yes, I actually did.
Twice.
And I just read that one once, and I didn't throw my face through a glass wall as I wanted to several times while reading that.
Oh.
I found George W. Bush's book incredibly entertaining,
Mm-hmm.
scary, but incredibly entertaining. Bill Clinton's book was just god-awful.
You love presidential books,
I
right?
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at my shelf, there's 2 very distinctive things up there. Presidents and wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other shelf is like all the bunches of sports stuff. But yeah, presidents and then like wrestling biographies.
Which is read
autobiographies.
more often?
Presidents.
Okay.
Now it's definitely presidents. I read the wrestling stuff like in the 90s, but
Gotcha.
like now it's definitely historical books.
I don't have this problem because I never learned how to read.
Your bookshelf is pretty deep. I've been in your
It is.
your house. Knock it off.
Yeah, no. I like to read.
They're
I like
all
very much
baseball
to read.
books. Like you have 4,000 baseball books.
It's that Cody goes. Cody, she asked you. She wanted to read the book
Yeah.
of basketball. She hits me up. She goes, "Hey, do you know any? Do you have any like good baseball books I might be able to borrow?"
yeah.
Like I have a lot of them.
Yeah, that's what I told. Like
brought
I
a
told her,
stack.
like, she's
Like,
trying
here.
to get, like, she wants to get, like, she's really taking this stuff in. Like, she's
Yeah.
very serious about
Yeah.
what she does here with us. And she was like, what baseball book should I read? Like, Kyle. Like, Kyle has shelves of baseball books, as well as the entire collection of The Fresh Prince of Bel Air on DVD.
No, I think I'm missing seasons 5 and 6
Oh, the best
on
years.
DVD.
I'm gonna need you to
Get on
those.
that. Dude,
Yeah.
I know. Honestly, the show takes a dive once Aunt Viv switches. Once they change Aunt Viv's, which I think happens after season 3,
I don't subscribe to that theory, but go ahead.
the show really, like, it doesn't take a dive, but it changes a lot.
Was it season 6 that was supposed? How many seasons are there?
I think
8?
6.
Oh, okay. So maybe it was season 4 where it was supposed to end because Will Smith. Remember when he moved back to Philadelphia? Mm-hmm. That was supposed to be the end of the series. He was going to do, I think, Independence Day at the time. No, that's too late.
Men in Black?
No, he was going to do a movie. Maybe it was Independence Day. He just feels too old at that point. But he was going to do
Like
something.
96 or 97.
He was going to do something, and they were like, he's going to be a movie star now that, like, the series is basically over. And then they decided, he decided, no, can we see your shirt, please?
Oh, this one's a great one.
Can we see that on the, before
Yeah, why not?
That is fantastic. I don't know if the camera can zoom in on this. I noticed Jason Ross's latest shirt there. The Deuce and Jason Ross show with Deuce, a very young Deuce Mason, a stunning Morgan Reagan, and a slightly more hair.
Should we read the bottom?
Jason Ross. The Beacon, TV's Morgan Reagan, in the voice of reason. That's quality work right there. Nicely done. Nice.
Just happened to be on.
Just happened to.
Under the puffy
Jason,
coat.
can you turn this direction? I want to see the shirt.
Sorry, totally sidetracked as I just caught Jason's, I
Wow.
believe that his 5th or 6th shirt here
I love that.
of the day. 7th shirt, sorry. 7th shirt of the day.
I mean,
yeah,
it's like
when
a
he
10.
when he moved back to Philadelphia, that was supposed to be the end of the
Right.
series. And then they just scraped together a couple of more episodes after
Yeah.
that. Or, I'm sorry, a couple of more seasons after that. You're welcome.
Strong show. Really good show. Fresh Prince.
Oh, I thought you were referring to this one. Definitely thought you were referring to this one. If you want to see Jason Ross's changes of shirts, you can head over to KHTK.com. Watch us on the live stream. Hands down, the MVP of the live stream each and every single day we're on it is Jason Ross. Antonio Brown really wants to play, apparently, for the San Francisco 49ers.
Is he pushing this some more?
Just posted a picture on Instagram of him in a photoshopped picture with Jerry Rice, his arms around someone in a 84 Brown jersey, and says, when the GOAT embraces you.
Well, I mean, he wants out.
I don't know
but,
if you saw the picture.
But, wow. Okay. But why does he want to be in San Francisco so badly?
I'm going to guess his name is Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay, but there's other great quarterbacks. But what's the connection there?
I don't know. He'd be the number one receiver.
No,
I mean, I
for
guess
sure.
he'd be the number. I
He's
guess he'd be the
everywhere.
number one receiver walking in the door. But I don't know. Kyle Shanahan's offense.
I think that's what he's looking at.
Kyle Shanahan's offense. Jimmy Garoppolo's arm.
You just want to go to Andy Reid, Mahomes? I mean, there's a ton of good.
Well,
offense.
yeah,
There's-
but
there's-
Tyreek Hill is there. I mean, I don't know that they'll even be able to absorb that money.
Yeah.
Because he's got to be traded. Remember, he's not a free agent. Like, the Steelers are going to have to trade him. And I think the more he lobbies to go somewhere, the more the Steelers are like, nope,
Yeah.
not going to happen.
The
Not going to be able to go.
I can see the 49ers have the cap space. If he's close with Jerry Rice, I know he's expressed a desire to, or at least Jerry Rice has said Antonio Brown has expressed a desire to work out with Jerry Rice. I think that plays a role in it. But the 49ers' leading receiver last year was Kendrick Bourne, and I think he had like 487 yards.
Yeah, but Jimmy Garoppolo didn't play.
Yeah, but
So would it have been Marquise Goodwin if Garoppolo was around?
either way, their leading receiver would have had more than 487 yards.
That's
But-
fine.
But their receiving core needs help, and a player like Antonio Brown would really thrive in Kyle Shanahan's offense. And my guess is he would like to hold out at some point and get that one last big money contract before he gets to his mid-30s.
Steelers are good. Steelers are good at holding out. They're all pro. They're Hall of Fame holdouts.
Well, Antonio Brown was very supportive of Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
And so you go to the 49ers, they have the cap space. you thrive in their offense, and at 31 have another 12 or 13 touchdown, 90 catch, 1,200 yard season, you're holding out and going, hey, that $14 million I'm going to make next year isn't enough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did Jerome Bettis ever hold out? Why do I feel like Jerome? Because I feel like Steelers are prone to holdouts.
I can't.
No,
remember
I'm being
if he
serious.
did.
Can
No,
you look? I think Jerome Bettis held out at some point.
and obviously it still worked out.
Yeah,
to this day, but,
things seem to have gone fine for him.
huh? And I don't know if that's an organizational deal or
I'm
what.
not sure. Maybe I'm making that up. It sounds good.
But the chances of him being in Pittsburgh, talking about Antonio Brown, or what?
If I don't feel like there are any.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be in Pittsburgh. I just don't. Maybe he doesn't even return after all of this. Maybe they go the Le'Veon Bell route.
Yeah.
We're not going to do. We're not going to do anything that you want.
Right.
Don't play.
But is this
Sit there.
on the 49er side of things? If they are interested, is that good? I mean, obviously he's incredibly talented, but is he a problem?
No, I don't think he is.
You don't think he's
No,
a problem?
you know what?
You think it's Ben?
I took a look at the letters that came your way for the Friday mailbag. I'm not. I believe a question along these lines will pop up in our mailbag segment in about an hour or so.
Okay.
No, I don't think. I think Antonio Brown. I think with players like Antonio Brown, there are certain things that you deal with. But do I think he's a problem? No, I don't think he's a problem.
Gotcha.
The All-Star starters were named for the NBA. As a matter of fact, we told you who the All-Star starters would be if you were listening to us yesterday. I think around the same time. Jason Ross, 10 for 10 in his All-Star selections. We both got the West right. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Paul George, Steph Curry, James Harden will start for the Western Conference. The Eastern Conference, Giannis Antetokounmpo, who will be the captain along with LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Joel Embiid, Kemba Walker. We differed on this one. You had Kyrie Irving. You were right. I had Victor Oladipo. I was wrong. There is the starters for the group. 9 of the 10 starters are currently averaging 25 points per game. The only one that is not is Kyrie Irving.
Yeah. You think so now this year we know that the draft of once the reserves are named and the 2 captains, which is Giannis and LeBron, will be televised. I like the idea. I think that's a good gimmick. I think Steph and LeBron sounded like it was just, they said they enjoyed it. I don't know. I'm anxious to see what it's like with LeBron and Giannis, but I think LeBron and Steph would have been a fun watch.
I think Giannis is a character too.
Yeah, they need Embiid doing this thing.
Oh my gosh, that would have been so great.
Yeah, I don't want him.
Yeah, Embiid
what?
being the captain, having to make those selections on television would have been must-see TV.
Yes.
I think it's going to happen eventually.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, he's close.
It
Yeah.
needs to
I
happen.
mean, he's a starter, so he's almost there.
When it comes to all-star selections, do you guys more value going, hey, I'm happy with these teams because I think that the best players got in? Or are you more looking for, like, who will be most exciting in an all-star environment?
I take it 100% on the individual deserving to be there, as opposed to, I don't care if you have the worst record. Are you having an all-star season?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say they're the best team in the league. They need 3 all-stars. Well, not if someone's not deserving it. So to me, I think it's an individual achievement.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
how
me
I do
too.
it.
So when you look at, like,
But in the same breath, I would really like to see Dwayne Wade play in the All-Star game.
Okay.
Which I know isn't fair because it's taking a spot away from someone who's probably having a significantly better season than he is.
Yeah.
But I give Dwayne Wade the respect of I would like to see him in an All-Star game this year.
but like when LaMarcus Aldridge is in the all-star game, like he's deserving, sure, but like 15-foot jumpers aren't that aesthetically pleasing in a game like that. I don't know.
Automatic.
Yeah, I get
Bank shots.
I get your point, but
Smart passing.
if we're gonna do it that way, we should change the name of it from All-Star game
Sure,
to just
sure,
mid
Showcase.
season
or
showcase. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm in for that, by the way.
And have absolutely zero financial benefit from it.
Yeah,
There
that's
is
fair.
a lot of
That's fair.
financial benefit for these players. For those 10 guys that were named starters yesterday, and then for the guys that are going to be named reserves. Like, as we start to, going through the Western Conference is going to be extremely difficult because the first ballot reserve player has to be Anthony Davis, right? Like, he's the first one. Like,
Sure.
you have to – okay, if nothing else, Anthony Davis is first.
100%.
And then you go from there, and you've got to deal with Nikolai Jokic. Is Rudy Gobert going to be there? Russell Westbrook, who's averaging a triple-double, by the way, for the 3rd straight season, and his team is ranked 3rd in the Western Conference, for those who might not be paying attention. Is Karl Anthony Towns an all-star? Is Damian Lillard an all-star? The mentioned LaMarcus Aldridge there. Are those guys all-stars? If not, who? Who are you putting in? No Los Angeles Clippers are likely going to make it. Like, is Tobias Harris going to get the nod? Are they going to put Doc Rivers on the coaching staff just to appease that group? I don't think any other Los Angeles Lakers are making it. But when you look at the conference, you got to start figuring out, okay, who deserves to be in this group? And it gets tough to figure out who from the Denver Nuggets are going to make it.
Right. I mean, I think it was. Did you end up with a list of 7?
I just named most of them.
Okay.
In that line there, we can do that. We're going to step out for a minute because we got to talk to Doug Christie. So we'll get back to the All-Star reserves. We'll maybe throw that in a late entry. Go check the mail.
Oh yeah, I will.
It might be a letter. Might be a letter for Jason Ross down
Daylight
there,
out now, so they're delivering
in the mail. Oh, definitely, because that's how the mail works.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the sun comes up, the mail gets delivered. So coming up, final hour here with the lowdown on the drive. Check us out on the live stream, KH2K.com. We've got the big game party presented by Mel Rapton Honda. Your chance to qualify is coming up at 8:40, and Doug Christie joins us from Memphis next.